For Kaduna State, let's go back to Kaduna, but on a happy note. The job of developing the state amid escalating insecurity is a daunting task. The reforms by the Governor Nasir El-Rufai administration in the state are attracting local and foreign investors. Some outcomes of these is that the state has attracted $3 billion worth of investments to the state and created about 50,000 jobs. We'll share the detail with you in this story by TVC News, Lupa Asom. Please take a viewing.
The investment-friendly environment being created by the Kaduna government is backed by its laws geared towards enhancing the ease of doing business in the state. This is yielding positive results and has led to a significant influx of local and foreign investors and businesses springing up. The government believes private sector partnership must take the lead in its economic development and job creation strategy. 2 industrial parks have been established to fast-track industrialization and attract businesses in priority sectors such as agriculture, mining, and ICT.
Various reforms have been initiated since the inception of this administration in 2015. Some of the reforms are the creation of the Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency on December 23rd, Law Number 17. The creation of the Kaduna Geographic Information Service, the passing of the Tax Codification and Consolidation Law, which did away with multiple taxation in the state, the automation and digitization of all the various internal processes and procedures across the ease of doing business facing MDAs such as Kasubda, KADGIS, CAD IRS, KEPA, even the High Court as well. So this has now led to the expansion of the investment portfolio of the state from little to nothing to about $3 billion and counting. This has created more than 50,000 both direct and indirect jobs since 2015. It has also generated 50.7 billion naira in internally generated revenues. When the administration came on board in 2015, it was about 13 billion. It is now 50.7 billion at the last count in 2020. The 2021 figures will be out shortly. This has also led to the development of primary infrastructure, access roads, and the likes across various layouts and rural places where investments are located. A lot of these things that we are going to benefit from as a government is the expansion of the state's economy, increase in IGR, increase in jobs that will be created for all the citizens in Kaduna State, and of course will benefit from the CSR projects that these investors bring.
Singaporean agro-business firm Olam has invested more than $150 million into a hatchery project in the state. It is one of the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. And the African Industrial Group has also invested at least $600 million in a steel plant and iron mining complex in Kujeni. That's in Kagarko local government area of the state. That's not all. There's also a tomato juice farm, a tomato processing plant in Kangimi community. Danish dairy giant Allah is similarly into partnership with the Kaduna government. It's a project that seeks to transform livestock production from a culture into a business, promote prosperity and development, and remove a source of insecurity and conflicts. The OPC fertilizer plant and the Dangote Peugeot vehicle assembly plant are also worthy of mention.
So from the start of the operations within this year, we envisage to employ 100 to 120 staff of various cadres. And then apart from that, those are the directly employed staff by our company. Others will include cleaners, security outfits, and casual staff that other companies we are going to engage.
We produce here the poultry feed, chicken feed. The capacity is around 30,000 metric ton in a month. And we produce day-old chicks, broiler day-old chicks, layer day-old chicks, 60 million day-old chicks annually. That is our capacity here to serve the northern Nigeria, because this is the one of the first hatchery in northern Nigeria, fully operated and serving Nigerians. We are here because of this current Kaduna State Governor. Let's openly say that, because initially when he heard that Olam is planning to invest, he flew direct to Singapore to discuss the management that really if Olam is ready to invest, why not in Kaduna? He had provided the land for lease and proudly say that due to the government support, This project had completed in 11 months. It's a record for even Olam as well as any project in Nigeria. So we had started in 2016 as a project and completed in 17. 5,000 metric ton feed we started to sell. Today we are selling 30,000 metric ton, means 100% capacity utilization. We started selling 1 million day-old chicks in a month. Today we are selling 3.5–4 million day-old chicks in a month. Employment, you are seeing every day. So the way 5,000 if we are selling a month, means we are procuring very least corn and soya. But today, if we are selling 30,000 a month, it means that how much corn and soya we are procuring, how much employment is increasing here. So when there was a project initial phase, we have 200–300 employees. Today we have 1,000 direct employees who's working and getting benefited. Surroundings, villages also very happy. There is any issue, see, in any business there will be little issues, but we didn't get a issue from the government side.
The Kaduna state government did help us to create a small road to our farm from the main road, which was very beneficial. And they've also helped us just in liaising with other state and federal agencies that we need to work with. So for example, Tomato Joss was very fortunate to receive a central bank loan. The Kaduna state government helped us to facilitate the approval of that loan and made sure that by the time it was getting to the central bank understood how important this investment was to the state. So they've really been beneficial on a number of different levels, and we're very happy to continue to grow and collaborate with the government as we grow our business.
The state's internally generated revenue is now more than 50 billion naira, a huge improvement from the 13 billion naira generated in 2015. The government says it has also been able to create more than 50,000 direct and indirect jobs through partnership with private investors. Annually, an investment summit, CADInvest, is organized by the government to showcase numerous existing potentialities to investors, and many of them are indicating interest to invest in the state. The government says through this, it hopes to achieve its economic development plan as projected. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
All right, many thanks, Lupe. Jide, the Kaduna State Governor, we must give it to him. He's a general ideas man. And ideas are very funny things. If they strike you, you move immediately.
Yes, and it seems to me that he also has a good team of young people who are who have creative skills, who can come up with the right ideas to move the state forward. If you have a boss who is inventive, on your own you begin to think of what you can bring to the table. It triggers
something in you.
Yes, your own creative juice will start flowing because you know that you have a boss who is happy to take your ideas on board. So Kaduna seems to be in a good place with Malam, and one can only hope that Kaduna defeats insecurity because the potential is huge.
Great, very huge. I just told you while we saw that report, travel through Benue State, and you realize this country is rich in food, in food, but galvanizing the richness is the wahala.
When we look at the sky, what we see is always different from each other. Somebody with a vision, even in the dark, can be exceptionally creative. Kaduna is full of, bad stories, killings and all that. But when you look at this other side, I think we need to give credit to El-Rufai. And look at his choice of, the areas of investment. Tomatoes, that's an essential commodity. Every home, poor, rich, armed, and defenseless people alike, you eat tomato in a day. No how. Then investing in milk. I mean, there's no home, and we are talking about 100 million euro, in Kaduna. Then we are talking about iron ore, worth about $600 million, which is the bedrock of industrial takeoff that when we just discuss about what's happening in Ajakuta. Well, these things are not on paper, because what you usually see is that people will advertise, but they are on the ground. So I think we should give it to him. It's impressive, and I think he's bringing back the lost heritage of Kaduna, which used to be one of the most industrialized city in the entire north. So I think we should give it to him.
Little wonder Kaduna is the capital of the old northern region.
Old northern region. Textile industry and all that.
All right, we will be joined now by the Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Investment Promotion Agency, Halil Nur Halil. How are you? Good evening, or good afternoon rather. Yeah. What can you tell us now?
Can you hear me?
What can you tell us? Kaduna is performing magic. What can you tell us?
Well, all credit is due to the visionary leadership by His Excellency Governor Nasir El-Rufai. He has provided a meritocratic environment for young people like myself to thrive, to bring in new ideas and so on. We've had a state development plan 2021-2025 where we're transforming the state's economy to a knowledge-based economy. So we're moving not just with industrialization, but we're trying to see how we can leverage the digital economy and move Kaduna State not just into the regional or African continent, but also integrate into the global value chain. So, I think we're doing a great job. We need to just sustain these reforms going forward in the next few years, and we're very confident that we'll be able to achieve our investment drive and strategy going forward.
Now, let's ask you about the partnership with Dangote, in respect of the moribund Pojo Assembly.
Yeah.
What does the state hope to achieve by this kind of partnership?
Okay, so, bringing in the likes of Dangote, Peugeot Automobile Nigeria, we couldn't wait for the whole liquidation of the original PAN. We sat together with the French ambassador and Peugeot itself in France. We tried to look at all the deficit of vehicles in the north, So by the time we commission this plant, the president will come down in May to commission it. It will be the largest assembly plant in Nigeria. We hope that this will at least service not just the northern region, but we'll also be planning to leverage the dry port and be able to export regionally and across Africa as well. So at least that's what we hope to achieve, and also to create jobs and increase our IGR in the state.
Is it located at the site of the old Pojo Automobile Nigeria?
It's at what we call, is right across what we call the Green Agro-Allied Industrial Zone, Abuja Kaduna Highway Expressway.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about employment. 50,000. You think you can do more?
Absolutely. By the time we start to work on the startup bill and we start to actually drive the technology sector, it will more than double. You look at the likes of the African Natural Resource and Mines Limited investment, that's going to create about 10,000 jobs alone. So if we continue to double down on bringing in investors into the solid mineral sector, other labor-intensive sectors such as maybe business process outsourcing, so that's call centers, try and kickstart the CTG sector, that's the cotton textile garment sector, I think we'll be looking at least 100,000 plus jobs in the next few years, definitely.
Are the locals happy with what your governor is doing in this state?
Absolutely. I think, every single community will always push back when these investors come in at first. But what we do as Kadipa is we sit down, we hold stakeholder engagements, we enlighten the community on the advantages, the benefits, and so on, and we carry them along throughout the whole facilitation process. And it has been great, as you can see from the likes of Tomato Jaws, the community at the end of the day will end up owning these investments. So no government can subsequently come in and take away these investments, because now it has provided these jobs for the local community, and you'll continue to actually hold and own these businesses themselves going forward. At least that's the logic.
Yeah, Kaduna used to be the hub of textile industry. Are you looking to that area of investment very soon?
Absolutely, 1,000%. We just had a trip. We went to Ethiopia. We're leveraging what's known as the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone. It's a scheme by the Africa Development Bank. So we're turning our Green Agro-Allied Industrial Zone along Abuja Kaduna Expressway, where we have the likes of Olam, OCP Fertilizer Blending Plant in Dorama, and so on. What we're trying to do is a fashion textile park at that place, and with garmenting and so on. So we went to Ethiopia, we saw the garment factories and so on, so we'll be able to replicate it in Kaduna State. This project will be at least maybe 2 or 3 years in the making, and we're already looking for a concessionaire to build the infrastructure.
I remember a few years back, there was talk about reviving the textile companies in the Kakuri area. Is that still a possibility?
Absolutely. I was in Abuja about 2 weeks ago, speaking to the chairman of NNDC, trying to just listen to their plans on what it is they're trying to do. All the moribund industries. Kaduna State is moving very fast. So we sat down with the KMD and so on, and Kadipa and Kaduna State as a government will also assist them in trying to revive and kickstart these companies. But so far so good. We feel these things will come back to fruition, inshallah, in the next few years.
To what extent has the yearly card invest helped to incubate some of the ideas that we are now seeing being brought to fruition?
Okay, so you see, the card invest is designed to showcase Kaduna State, into the business world globally and whatnot. It has allowed us to increase the investment portfolio of the state from little to nothing to about $3 billion plus. It has increased our IGR, like you have all mentioned, from 13 billion to 50.7 billion. It has increased a lot of jobs. That is the place where we sit down and actually explore innovative policy regimes. So private sector, the public sector, financiers, entrepreneurs sit down, come together, and see how we can actually design policies to drive and provide an enabling business environment for all these companies and existing and potential companies coming to Kaduna State. I think it has been a lot of success for us. We're going to host the 7th one. This will be the final one for this administration in September, inshallah. And we feel we're going to do even a lot more to showcase what we've done in the past 7 years.
Khalil, at a time not too long ago, both Lagos and Kebbi State had a joint venture, and they produced a rice brand. Is Cardinvest thinking of aligning with any state in the nearest future?
A lot of states. You see, we are probably number one, if not. I was trying to be humble, but we're number one in this investment promotion game in Nigeria. A lot of states come to us to learn and see what we're doing in terms of innovation and what we're doing in bringing investors in Kaduna State. We're working at the moment with the likes of Nasara Investment Promotion Agency, NASIDA, driven by a very good friend, Ibrahim Abdullahi. They're going to come down to Kaduna State and see what kind of partnership that we can explore. And of course, even Edo State and other various states that we have. We've done what's known as a Northwest Investment Area Agreement that Kadipa has pushed. We're looking at the entire Northwest region to see how we can push back on this narrative of insecurity and promote the region as a whole to drive investment into this region and see, what can happen in the future to provide these jobs and curb insecurity in the region.
Now, let's talk just briefly about security and what your government is doing to ensure that it is outlived by these initiatives that is come up with. Security and power supply, they are very important to the growth and development of businesses. What is the Kaduna State government doing in the area of maybe alternative energy sources for the area where these industries are localized? And secondly, what is being done to improve security, because insecurity is a disincentive to investment?
Absolutely. Okay, so for power, power is a huge, it has a lot of potential. What we have in Kaduna State is 2 economic zones. We have what I mentioned as the Green Agro-Allied Industrial Zone, which will power all the agro-processing companies that will come into Kaduna State. We are partnering with private investors who will provide off-grid, on-grid solutions and hybrid solutions to power all these companies we're bringing in. We have various layouts across the state, so every time we do an allocation, CAD Electric comes on board to try and provide on-grid solutions to these companies, and also private investors that come in. We also have what's known as the Kaduna Power Supply Company, who also works hand in hand with these private investors to provide off-grid solutions to power these companies, local communities, healthcare and the likes, and also our Mandali Waterworks project. What we're going to be doing going forward is every time we bring in an investor, they have to sit down at the table. We bring in all the other private investors that want to provide power to them to do so that they can have clients and so on. With insecurity, I think you all agree with me that the investment drive is part and parcel of the insecurity, is part and parcel of solving the insecurity situation in Kaduna State. So what that means is, you would not have insecurity if there's economic activity going on in all these various locations. It is because of the lack of economic activity that is bringing about these insecurity issues that we have in the state. So we feel like we're going to continue to do these investment drives, and hopefully within the next few years, the security issue going on in Kaduna State will be a thing of the past, inshallah.
Khalil, we must stop here, but we thank you for your time and wish you very, very well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Khalil is the Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Investment Promotion Agency. And I think it's happy news.
Yes.
If only states around the country can copy that.
Yes, I think that in spite of the adversities that we see now and again in Kaduna, there is a serious effort on the part of the governor to make the state a lot better than he met it. And one of the best ways is to attract this, one of the best ways to make that happen is to attract these businesses, to the state, let them help to reduce the rate of unemployment in the state, keep people busy. That way, the state will be able to generate a lot more revenue that can then be used to solve some of the pressing problems of infrastructure facing the state. Yeah. I'm happy to see these efforts being made, and to even see investors coming into our country in spite of the negative stories out there about our country. People are prepared to come here because they are sure that they will have return on investment. So Malam has done well, and we can only wish him Godspeed.
Yeah. Well, so if you have a captain of the ship who is forward-looking, has a lot of creative inventiveness, that's a boon for a particular environment.
Quite great. I think I'm quite impressed, what he's doing. And the issue also is that economic intervention is also a way of dealing with insecurity. Because resolving security problems is not just about military hardwares. When people have jobs, 50,000 people working at their homes, provided with all the basics that they need, people will be less
multiply 50,000 by 2.
So I think it's quite impressive. And I think it's a challenge to other state governors. It's something they really need to copy from.